Hello and welcome. I'm Nick Griffin, Vice President of the Alliance for Peace and Freedom. I'm joined today in the Vox box by, on my right, Athanasios Konstantinou, MEP from Golden Dawn. On my left here, Milan Ulrich, MEP from People's Party Slovakia. To my far right, Tudor Ionescu from Nova Dracta, the New Right in Romania. And on the left, but not really, Gonzalo Martin Garcia from National Democracia in Spain. Again, thank you for joining us. We're very pushed for time, so I'll get straight into the question. First one for you, Tassos.
Yes, please.
Erdogan, the president of Turkey, has threatened that unless the European Union give him lots of money and accept him invading part of Syria, then he will take revenge by opening the doors and letting 1 million or more migrants into Europe. Do you believe that this is a serious threat, and what will happen in Greece if it is?
First of all, I have to confess that Mr. Erdogan is a very cunning politician. Therefore, never I trust him what he says. He can do whatever he wants according to his strategic planning. That means, according to my perception, he could act like that, opening suddenly the borders and giving a flood of refugees in European soil.
And if he does, how will people in Greece respond to that?
I believe that will bring a chain of reactions in the national population, because already we have enough troubles and problems with the illegal immigrants. You can imagine very easily if 1 million or more of new wave of immigrants, what could be done in the local population.
Yeah, sure. Well, very interesting. I'm sure, as you say, Mr. Erdogan will act one way or another, so we will find out. Right, moving swiftly on. Milan, I was reading just the other day a Soros-funded study about right-wing extremism in Slovakia, which in particular mentions People's Party Slovakia, Labour's party, as a major threat, and so on. But they said that Slovakia is particularly Russophile. Why is for British people and so on, we tend to think still of Czechoslovakia. So why is the Czech Republic really very liberal and leans towards the West, whereas Slovakia has a powerful nationalist movement and this healthy tendency to stand towards traditionalist Russia rather than the liberal West?
I think the main difference between Slovakia and Czech is that in Slovakia we are more Catholic people than in Czech Republic, so naturally we are more conservative than they are. But regarding to the study of Soros Foundation or university or whatever it is, of course they are paid to write such things, so it's obvious they publish those things that we all are Russophiles and so on. Actually, the public mood in Slovakia is that most of or majority of the people is positively inclined to the Russia because of historical relations. Of course, when you look at the history, Slovakian people, I don't talk about the government, but about the common people, in the biggest conflicts, they always tend to stay on the side of the Russia or on the side of Slavic nations, whether on the side of, for example, the United States. Of course, it's natural because United States are far away and their ideology and everything is completely different than in our culture. So for us, the Russia is a natural ally. Although we have some doubts about the current Russian policy, but generally we find the Russian as our friends. We consider it as friends.
Good. Okay, thank you for that. Tudor.
Yes.
In regards to Brexit, Boris Johnson has signalled that if he gets the sort of Brexit he wants, that Britain will be open for mass skilled immigration. So he's saying we're not going to have Africans who don't have any qualifications, but don't worry, we're going to have lots of migrants coming in to do things such as work in the health service. Now, my wife works in the health service. I know a lot of the nurses that she comes across are Romanians. These are young Romanians now living in Britain and having families in Britain. So especially if Johnson gets his way and this goes on even more, what impact does it have on a country like Romania to lose so many young people?
Well, Romania faces brain drain right now. Actually, there are over 5 million Romanians who left their country and are currently living outside their borders.
Out of how many in total?
Over 5 million.
Yeah, and how many total population?
We have in Romania 23 million.
Wow.
We used to have in Romania 23 million, number 7 in the European Union in terms of population and territory. We also have 3 million in the Republic of Moldavia. We are, let's say, an over 30 million nation. But this is not the issue. The issue is that the socialist and liberal governments simply chased away over 5 million Romanians to get rid of unemployment, to get rid of social protests, to get rid of problems. These Romanians didn't wanted to live abroad. They were forced to leave their country, to leave their families, and to leave their homes. And we, Partidul Noua Dreaptă, as a nationalist party, want to bring back these Romanians from the UK, from Italy, from Spain, from everywhere, because their future must be in Romania. You know, actually, statistically, only Syria is in a worse situation than Romania.
Wow.
Because from Syria left 5 million people, but there is a civil war going on in Syria. And in Romania, 5 million Romanians left, and there is theoretically peace.
Yes. Can I just one supplementary question to this?
Please.
Quite often in the British newspapers you hear of someone committing some horrible crime and they say he's a Romanian. But you look at the picture and you think, I don't think this is a Romanian. So when you say 5 million have left, how many of them, let's be blunt, are gypsies and how many are Romanians?
There is a gypsy minority in Romania, as there is a very large gypsy minority in Hungary, Bulgaria, Serbia, even Slovakia, even Spain, and so on, because they are everywhere. They are not only in Romania. In terms of percentage, I think the gypsy minority in Hungary is the largest in terms of percentage, I repeat. If we are talking about Romania, definitely a lot of gypsies left Romania, and they are, you know, more on the news because probably they earn their living in a honest way. You know, if Romanians are going to work every day, you don't see them in the streets, you don't see them begging, you don't see them stealing. But gypsies, you see them everywhere. And this is why we have still such a bad image in Europe, and that's a pity, because we are one of the oldest nations in Europe and we really don't deserve our image to be associated with a minority who came from Asia some 700 years ago.
Sure. Well, don't worry. I'm sure most of our viewers understand and definitely sympathise with the real Romanians. We're running very short on time, so I'd like to give you, now the two MEPs will be used to this, you have 1 minute. The 60 seconds ration of democracy in the parliamentary chamber that you get here. So 1 minute each to tell us just a very little bit about the situation for real nationalism in your country. Gonzalo, I'll start with you. We'll work this way. 1 minute.
Well, as you know, we have the elections last Sunday, and there's this new populistic party that gained 15% of votes. This is positive from the point of view that for the first time in Spain, in 40 years of democracy, there is a party that we can say is talking about things that in Democracia Nacional we are defending 20 years. From the point of view of the real nationalists like Democracia Nacional, we will have hard times because we have to probably wait a few years till they show the real face to the Spanish people, that they are not people who are really caring for the nation. And then it will be our opportunity them, as we did the last 20 years, saying the truth and what will happen in Spain with immigration and all these separatist policies.
Okay, thank you. Ooh, about 45 seconds. Very, very good. Milan.
I think that
situation
in Slovakia comparing with situation in Western countries is better. I think in terms of nationalism, but however there is still a lot of people to be convinced to open their eyes, because they are of course blindly believing information from mass media, you know, and of course they, according to this information, we are all extremists and we are bad people, and people who don't check facts, who don't check or who don't know us personally or don't care about our party, about our program, they tend to believe such information. So the situation generally is not as bad as in Western countries, but we still have a lot of work to do to gain enough power, enough voters to really change the politics in Slovakia.
Thank you, and thank you for your party, for Mr. Labour and so on, for being an inspiration
you very
to
much.
nationalists all over the world. Let's go next to Tudor. We'll finish with one of the grand old men of European nationalism. Tudor, the situation in Romania, very briefly.
Well, nationalism definitely is the only ideology that protects the nation. Liberalism, socialism, and other ideologies definitely work against our nations. In Romania, for instance, we had during the past 30 years, since the fall of communism, only socialist and liberal governments. Nationalists have never been in power. Nationalists have never been in government. So right now we have a liberal government. Next year we will have local elections in June and parliamentary elections in November. We will definitely run in these elections. We will try to form an alliance. We are currently doing this, talking about this and doing this. And we have no doubt that Romanians will head towards this nationalist alternative for Romania, which is the only true alternative. And by the way, is the only alternative for the 5 million Romanians to come back to Romania.
Thank you very much. Again, Romania has a very special place in the heart of nationalists all over the world who admire the memory of the captain, and we wish you all the best. So, finally, we'll close by giving, I think, 2 minutes or 1 minute 30 to one of the old fighters of Golden Dawn and the fight for Greece. Athanasios, over to you.
I'll use the privilege you offered me just now to express my deepest feelings about our struggling fatherland. As always, as everywhere in whole Europe, we have to fight in a double front against the powers of the liberal establishment, which now rules the fatherland, and also against the tremendous mass of the left, traditional, through Stalinist or new left, which had governed the fatherland during the last government. I believe that all comrades and all our friends know that the movement is under tremendous pressure due to a almost 5-year judicial persecution, which till now we couldn't afford, all the pressures and all the effects they had upon us. And you know also the missing of our fallen comrades who were executed by the red criminals.
Thank you very much. We're absolutely spot on time. So thank you for you for joining us today. Thank you to comrades from Spain, Slovakia, Britain, Greece and Romania. We all work together and we'll look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.